Dallas versus Houston, number 1 versus number 2, and two teams with a 23-1 combined record. This one has it all. The TAPS six-man Division I state championship coming your way next on TAPS TV. Good evening and welcome inside the broadcast booth. Mike Leslie joined by Matt Tarbutton and Gabe Duarte for Game 3 of the day here at Waco Midway's Panther Stadium, and these are two fantastic football teams, not separated by a whole lot. Two teams that are expected to play a very even football game tonight, guys.
Yeah, I think on paper these are the two closely matched teams that we've seen so far today, and based on what the other two games brought us, which were
Amen.
nothing but thrilling, we're in line for another great game today. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be a very exciting, very physical, hard-hitting game. Definitely going to see some balls being thrown around all over the place. The last two games have been very run-oriented games, but I think this one is going to be a little bit more through the air.
Lakehill in their first year under new head coach Jarris Mitchell, and for whatever reason for this program, whether it's Mitchell or something else, something has clicked for this team. They have not been a 12-0 state championship contending type team historically, certainly not over the course of the last several years. This year, though, something has clicked for this team. They've got a lot of talent on the football field, and everything's working for this bunch right now.
Yeah, it's been huge for them. You know, we've been in the district with them for the last several years. They've had great student athletes, but as you said, Coach Mitchell came in, really got the system going, obviously, with the talent they have, the athleticism. They've been able to spread it out. They can run it as well, but he's brought in that consistency, brought in that, structure that they needed, and they've really taken off.
Meanwhile, Emery Weiner's only loss this year came to the defending Division III champion Baytown Christian, 11-1 on the year, 5-0 in their district. Really gave an impressive season from them from top to bottom.
And you know what? They are fired up. I was just down there. They brought a huge crowd section. They have 3 buses that were just dedicated to bringing fans in here. So it's a very enthusiastic crowd. They're riled up. They're ready to go, and it should be a lot of fun.
Let's go ahead and show the folks here in the shot of the field itself as we're inside about 12 minutes of kickoff now here at Panther Stadium, and give you our players to watch for tonight. For Lakehill, running back Ryan Henry. Head coach Jarris Mitchell, we talked about the fact that this is his first year, guys, within this program. He said when he came in the spring, this was Ryan Henry's team. He said Henry ran the postseason practices. Henry ran their off-season conditioning program. He was the unquestioned leader of this team, and he said it took a little while before he kind of passed the team off to Coach Mitchell. He said he kind of let Ryan Henry continue to do his thing and just run the program until everybody was comfortable with him. Clearly that handoff has worked really well for this program.
Yeah, it's been great for them. He's a really good running back, very stocky. I mean, he's not a chunky kid at all. He's very athletic, very, well built, but he's also got great speed on him. And so he's been a great leader for him. Obviously, with leaders on football teams, having somebody that can talk the talk but also walk the walk is huge, and that's what he's done for them.
He and Mitchell Crow are two big pieces for that Lakehill prep offense. Meanwhile, for Emery Weiner, Leo Gerst to me is a big player to watch, guys, and part of the reason for that is because of the somewhat questionable nature of the health of their bell cow, Austin Smith, their senior running back, number 22, on the year, 18 touchdowns on the ground, 4 more through the air. But he hurt his knee in the state semifinals. They've been working to try and get him back up to speed and ready to play tonight. They expect him to dress out. They expect him to be available. But the big question is how much can he actually do on the field? And as a result, Leo Gerst, their sophomore running back, who will be the number 1 back if Austin can't do his usual duties, will be a big player to watch. Number 4 for Emery Weiner, a big player tonight, guys, for what the Jaguars want to do offensively.
Yeah, with about 10 minutes left here to go, it is going to be an exciting game. It's definitely going to be physical football. This is our largest division that we have in 6-man, so not going to really worry too much about depth. I mean, obviously star players are star players, and, you got to have guys that can get the job done. And so, if those guys can step up in this ball game, I think it's going to be huge. If not, then that may kind of spell trouble for the team. But with the way that both these teams have really run through the postseason, I mean, Lakehill definitely probably had the easier route for sure. But, with the way you just got to take the road you're given, and obviously Emery Weiner has done so as well. There's a little bit tougher having to run through some more physical teams and deeper teams. But, road's going to prepare you for what lies ahead, and we'll we'll see how well they prepared for tonight.
Lakehill under first-year head coach Jarris Mitchell, of course, 12-0 over the course of his short time here with the Lakehill Prep Warriors. Second-year head coach for Emery Weiner, Jason Reimers, 21-3 in that span. A 10-2 run last year to the second round of the TAP six-man Division I playoffs, where they lost to Veritas Academy 22-21. This year, 11-1 and playing for a state championship in Division I at the six-man level. Lakehill and Emery Weiner. Kickoff coming up in just a few minutes here on TAPS TV. Back at Panther Stadium just in time for the pregame prayer and the national anthem.
Players, coaches, parents, and fans treat each other with mutual respect, patience, understanding, and appreciation, and be a source of pride to our school, our family, and community. May we be examples of good sportsmanship and accept the game's outcome with humility and grace. May we push ourselves to be the very best student athletes on this glorious night. The prophet Isaiah said, "They that wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary." May we bring glory to you in all that we do. Thank you, God, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this day. Amen.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I direct your attention to the north end zone, where members of the Midway High School Marine JROTC division will be presenting the nation's colors. Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing the national anthem tonight are members of the Emery Weiner School Choir.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the
our third state champion of the weekend, crowned over the next few hours here in Waco as Lakehill Prep and Emery Weiner square off for the six-man Division I championship. Lakehill Prep's captains Mitchell Crow, Jonah Shaw, Ryan Henry, Nathan Lewis, Logan Stout, and Gage McKnight, roughly half the roster. Meanwhile, for Emery Weiner, Ben Dauber, Cullen Baker, Austin Smith, and Connor Koenig. It will be Lakehill in the white jerseys on the far sideline. On the visitor sideline, Emery Weiner in the gray jerseys on the near sideline, as they make their way to midfield for the pregame coin toss. Kickoff just about 3 minutes away here from the TAPS Division I six-man state championship game. Mike Leslie, Matt Tarbutton, and Gabe Duarte with you here all day long. This is the culmination of Six-Man Thursday. Officials this evening: Larry Morgan, the crew chief, John Banks, Dale Crowell, Lloyd Klippinger, and Lance Morgan, the five-man crew. So it is Lakehill to win the toss, and they will receive. Two teams a combined 23-1 on the year, the number one and number two teams in the state in six-man Division I football. Trying to decide who's the ultimate number one in the state over the course of the next 2.5 hours.
Going to be interested to see how this game starts out. Obviously, both teams able to score at a pretty high clip. Obviously, defense has been a huge deal for both of these teams as well. The last two games that we've watched and seen, a lot of these teams that come in have great defensive numbers, only averaging, 8 to 10 to 15 points scored on them. So it's going to be interesting to see. Defense is usually going to make or break. It may be only one or two huge stops, but defense is going to make a deal in these ball games.
We'll get a chance to see Emery Weiner's defense first.
Emery Weiner had 5 shutouts in their 12-game season, but on the other side, Lakehill had 6. So you're absolutely right, Matt. Should be a great game.
And the kickoff from Emery Weiner, deep and through the end zone. So for Lakehill Prep, 1st and 15 from their own 20 for Nathan Lewis and company. Their starters, Henry Hopkins, Gage McKnight, and Keegan Clendenin across the offensive line. Lewis and Ryan Henry in the backfield, as well as Mitchell Crow.
They're going to start out in their spread formation. They like to do this. Probably going to run a little no huddle if they can as well. Crow's a heck of a quarterback back there. Spread back even, can throw it and run it.
And that's exactly where they'll send it, is to Mitchell Crow. Their spread back. He fires it deep downfield. What a catch. What a grab over the middle by Ryan Henry. And just like that, Lakehill Prep into Emery Weiner territory.
Yeah, Henry's got great hands, great speed. Not the tallest guy in the world, but if you're athletic enough to go get it, doesn't worry about how tall you are.
Emery Weiner's defense: Jack Greenberg, Connor Koenig, Alex Plotkin, Ben Dauber, Austin Smith, and Dylan Shue. 1st and 15 at the 38-yard line. Beg your pardon, 28-yard line for Nathan Lewis and Ryan and Mitchell Crow behind him. Crow followed in the backfield, pitches it out, trying to find Lewis. Can he break free? No, he cannot. Good pursuit from the Emery Weiner defense. Jack Greenberg in there to help make the play. Connor Koenig as well.
Number 10, Connor Duffy, ultimately stopped the play at the sideline.
Man, that's huge play there. You don't want your quarterback to freak out and try to toss it, especially on the first down. I would have taken the sack on that one.
Back to Henry. rather to Crow, and he pitches it forward to Lewis once again. Lewis trying to get back to the line of scrimmage and only just barely does that.
Crow got hit hard on that one, got a shoe knocked off. So I think it's physical ball game coming up here to begin with, so we'll see how the Warriors respond.
We mentioned as the broadcast was coming on the air the importance of the health of number 22, Austin Smith. Ordinarily their starting middle linebacker, presently standing on the sideline. Connor Duffy on the field in his place. For 3rd down and 22. Crow looking deep over the middle into double coverage, tip, nearly intercepted, then nearly caught. Ultimately, neither could hang on to it, and it'll be 4th down and a mile.
Look like Lakehill's probably going to have to go for it. You know, obviously in 6-man, pretty much the whole field is 4-down territory, so it's definitely something that you're going to see Lakehill go for it here. They've got, 4th and 22 to make, so we'll see if they can pull it off.
It'll be Lewis at quarterback, Crow behind him as the spread back. 2 receivers to the top of the formation, and Crow's going to roll that way. Cuts back as he gets a block from Lewis, looking downfield, trying to find somebody deep. Heaves it that way, nobody home. Intercepted, probably not wise to pick that football off. A forfeiture of about 30 yards worth of field position. Leo Gerst making the play, but would have been better served, guys, to knock that football down.
Yeah, you definitely want kids to be aware, but, in the moment, not too worried about it. But, yeah, that definitely did give up some yardage on that play, but come out and really get firing. I think it's going to help Emery Weiner.
Lakehill looking a little bit frantic on that offensive series. Some ill-advised throws and just kind of panicked-looking plays. Hopefully they'll settle down for their fans.
So here comes Doran Eustein and company, and he hands the ball off to Leo Gerst. He breaks the first tackle and steps out of bounds at the 19. Once again, 22, Austin Smith, their usual starter at running back, standing on the sideline. At least to start the football game, it doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot of the big senior who has 22 touchdowns on the year for Emery Weiner. Gerst in there starting alongside Doran Eustein, the quarterback, Josh Blum, Connor Koenig, Cullen Baker, and Keon Bobrow, the starters for the Emery Weiner offense. Logan Stout, Gage McKnight, Jonah Shaw, the defensive line starters for Emery Weiner. Kaiser Hall, Mitchell Crow, and Ryan Henry. The other 3 starters as Eustein pitches it out for Gerst. Gerst trying to get the corner. Knocked out of bounds at the 28.
Emery Weiner running kind of, probably what you say, kind of a pro offense, kind of like what you see in the NFL a lot. Direct snap to the quarterback, trying to hand it off or get some quick throws. Obviously, it's an offense based a lot on being able to block and especially timing on the routes as well. So if Emery Weiner can keep rolling as they are, I think they'll be fine. What Lakehill's going to do is need to kind of get them off the rhythm if they can.
First down run there for Gerst, so a fresh set of downs, 1st and 15 from the 28. Gerst gets the handoff. Beg your pardon, that is Connor Duffy with his first carry of the day. Picks up about 2 as he twists his way forward.
Looks like it's going to be a running back by committee approach for the Jaguars of Emery Weiner.
2 minutes in here to the 6-man Division I state championship game. 2nd down and 13 for Emery Weiner. Ball on their own 30. Eustein on the season, 17 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. Over 1,000 yards through the air. He fires it on the near side, complete into the hands of, I believe that's Connor Koenig. Yes, it is. Close to the first down marker. It's going to depend on the spot. Looks like he does have it just barely, and he does. Ball across midfield down to the 36-yard line. And they're going to hustle back to the line of scrimmage and snap it quick here. Barely got the stick set as they hand it off to Leo Gerst. Breaks the first tackle inside the 30.
Emery Weiner using a lot of tempo here to be able to get the ball moving. They don't go no huddle all the time, but they're definitely doing it at times that's beneficial for them.
This time they'll huddle up before 2nd down and 6. Eustein in shotgun. A wide receiver to either side, and Gerst in the backfield with him, and Gerst will get the pitch out. Gerst breaks one tackle. He's got the corner. Gerst pushed out of bounds from behind. Flag comes in behind the play.
Number 10, William Leake, finally pushed him out of bounds, possibly saving a touchdown. Of course, it depends on the flag.
Interesting area from where the flag came from. I'm thinking either some sort of block in the back or, yep, that's what it was.
And that'll bring it back, according to our crew chief this evening, Larry Morgan. Good run by Gerst, but he had a little more help than he should have had. And it basically brings it back to what was the line of scrimmage previously, because the block was as far downfield as it was. So it's, in a lot of ways, a straight-up redo. 2nd down and 6 once again.
I like Gerst at running back. He's not the biggest kid in the world, but he's got some juice in his legs, and he's really running hard.
Jason Reimers calls him the sophomore sensation. Showing a little bit of that early on in the football game. 6:30 to play, first quarter, still scoreless. This pitch goes to Ben Dauber, and he got hit hard right at the sticks. Fell forward for a first down.
Just like in the earlier game with New Braunfels Christian and Harvest Christian, really want to watch the depth in this game and how that's going to spell into it. Obviously, Emery Weiner being a larger school, playing 6-man, they've actually, obviously got the depth. And so Lakehill's got several kids that can play for them as well, but they just don't have as much. So we'll see later on if depth plays a pivotal role in this game.
Fresh set of downs at the 19. It's Dauber behind Houston. He's going to throw it here. And has to throw it in the dirt at the feet of Dauber.
Ryan Henry was in the backfield. It's number 5 for Lakehill.
Henry, in addition to being a stud running back, also the middle linebacker for Lakehill Prep. They're going to wave off the flag. I'm not sure if it was indeed thrown or perhaps just dropped. I never saw it actually fly. Either way, no flag on the play, and it's 2nd down and 15.
Yeah, that's definitely possibly a New England Patriot tuck rule that we need to look at for that one. Not really. It's
2nd and 15 now. Gerst back in there, saddled to the left of Doran Houston, and he's going to get the pitch. Cuts back, has some running room, has a seam up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Leo Gerst.
Gerst is looking like a firecracker early in this game. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's done a great job following his blocks. They're making some cutbacks. That was a huge play to open up the scoreboard and really open it up for this Emery Weiner Jaguar offense.
Leo Gerst, the sophomore, a nice cutback, and then he had nothing but green grass in front of him. And the first touchdown of the day comes from the Jaguars. Vincent Banks on for the 2-point PAT. Solid kick up and through, and it's 8-0 early on here. Emery Weiner in front.
Be interested to see how Lakehill responds to this one. I wonder if they're going to come out more of a tight offense, try to run it on Emery Weiner. Emery Weiner obviously, is down there doing pregame. They're not a small team by any means. A lot of these teams aren't. Even though people think, oh, it's 6-man, they're smaller guys. No, there's pretty good sized guys out there playing on both these teams. So I'll be interested to see what Coach Mitchell calls. See if he calls the tight or calls the spread. Obviously, spread has worked well for him a lot this year. But with Emery Weiner being able to defend it like they did, it might be a better option for them.
So Emery Weiner set to kick it away. Vincent Banks, their kicker and kickoff specialist and punter. Not that we expect to see either of these teams punt the football a whole lot today. And he will kick it deep and through the back of the end zone. So the last time we saw Lakehill Prep with the football, they were able to move it downfield with a couple of big plays, but then stalled out once they got deeper into Emery Weiner territory, and ultimately the interception on the 4th down throw deep into Emery Weiner territory. See if they can find a little more consistency on this drive.
Coach Mitchell has them lining up in the kind of a jumbo tight formation.
On 1st and 15, and the handoff goes on the left-hand side to Ryan Henry, twisting his way for about 4 on the play.
So they've got Henry in there running back and Mitchell Crow at fullback, so they've definitely got both their really good athletes out there at the moment.
2nd down and 11. Henry with the cutback. Carrying it loose there for a moment, able to hang on to it as he got pummeled by Connor Koenig at the end of the play.
Yeah, Emery does a good job getting to the ball, definitely team tackling, and that's what it's going to take down the running back for Lakehill. So we'll see if they can continue to do it. You just don't want to allow the running back to get out in the open, because if he does, it's going to spell trouble because he's got some speed.
3rd down and 8 forthcoming. This Emery Weiner team lost 9 seniors to graduation last year, but they really feel like they've rebounded from that well, very clearly being in the state championship game. And stood up at the line of scrimmage is Ryan Henry. Connor Duffy coming through and absolutely laying the wood. You want to talk about filling a hole.
Yeah, that was a great job by the Duff man up front. That was huge.
Connor Duffy playing middle linebacker in place of Austin Smith, Emery Weiner's most talented, most seasoned player. Only a sophomore, and man, that is a play and a half right there. And it sets up 4th down and 8, and it looks like they will indeed punt the football away. Over the head of the return man that was deep. That was Dylan Shue. Ball's pounced on inside the 20-yard line, and they'll mark it right at the 20.
Good defensive stand there by the Jaguars. That was huge to be able to stop a very potent offense for Lakehill. That was great. Very physical up front, not letting running back get out into the open space. That was a great job. If they continue to contain Henry and Crow like this, it might be a long night for the Warriors and a great night for the Jaguars.
Really, really impressive start from Emery Weiner's defense. 2 defensive stops here in the first quarter. And now the handoff goes to Leo Gerst, and Gerst has got some space again. Steps through 1 tackle. He's across midfield. Knocked out of bounds as he gets across into Lakehill territory.
Samuel Tobin finally coming in, closing and forcing the running back out of bounds there.
Emery Weiner's been in the finals before. Last time they made it to the finals, I want to say it was probably 2015, I believe. But, they've been pretty deep in the playoffs. Obviously, with the team having success like they've had over the years, it definitely helps build the culture.
They're going to say Gerst stepped out of bounds just before he gained the first down. Still on their own side of the field at the 35. Has the first down now as the handoff goes to Ben Dauber. He gets hit hard as he comes across midfield, but he's got the first down and quite a bit more into Lakehill territory.
Lakehill still kind of on their heels. They're really going to have to attack this run game if they want to stop it, because Gerst has shown he can get the wheels going.
1st and 15 from the 32. And now a stoppage by the near side official.
It looks like starting back up, looked like the down marker went dead. It's one of the electronic ones, which definitely is a small school. You don't see too much, so it's definitely cool to see him at the state game.
Neither team called. It was very much an official timeout. Both teams still with 3 here in the first half, and now everything's back and ready for play. 3:20 as they wind the clock here in the first quarter. 8-0 in favor of Emery Weiner, and they're trying to add to it with a fresh set of downs at the 32 in Lakehill territory. 2 wides to the near side for Doran Eustein. Hands off to Dauber. Give him 6 on the play.
That was big number 44, Gage McKnight, with the stop for Lakehill.
Ball spotted near the 26. Pick of about 6 on the play. 2nd down and 9.
Lakehill's going to have to try to stop this run They've been getting gashed all day long by this. They're going to have to put a stop to it.
2nd and 8. They pitch it back to Gerst, and he's going to take it up the middle. Breaks one tackle, gets across the 20. A little shy of the first down marker. It'll set up 3rd down and about a yard and a half.
Looks like we've got a player down for the Warriors.
Timeout on the field for the injured player, Gage McKnight, their defensive tackle, and we'll take the timeout with him. We'll be back here on TAPS TV.
Aiden loves playing baseball. He's in his element when he picks up a baseball bat.
When Aiden tore his ACL last year, we were all devastated. We didn't think that a 13-year-old could have a problem such as that.
Children's Health Andrews Institute for Orthopedic and Sports Medicine not only repaired Aiden's ACL, but they gave him the knowledge and skills to prevent any future injuries.
Now, less than a year later, he's back to hitting homers and doing phenomenal.
Back at Panther Stadium here in Waco, 8-0, Emery Weiner with the lead on Lakehill Prep as they get Gage McKnight back to his feet. Big senior defensive tackle. Very slow to walk off. Will Gorman, number 13, certainly one player that we could potentially see in his stead. Also Keegan Clendon in number 22. And Matt, you were saying as we were in break there a moment ago, he's a kid who plays hard.
Yeah, he very much does. Very big, very physical. I don't know defensively. I might help somebody, or it might help Lakehill to have a little bit more speed on the defense, especially against the spread. But, we'll just have to see. Hate it for Gage because that's, that state championship game, you don't want to go out, especially early on.
3rd down and 2 as they wind the clock down to 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Handoff goes to Leo Gersh. Stood up. He's going to have maybe just enough for the first down. It's very close based on that spot. We'll see what Larry Morgan says. They may want to take a further look at this one. Yeah, they're going to call for a measurement here.
First one we've seen all day.
There have been a couple of times where we thought we were going to see a measurement and didn't get one for whatever reason, but the officials were more confident than we were that it was a first down.
Yeah, they have a better angle than we do. I mean, we're a little bit higher up, so it's harder to see. But, yeah, it's definitely the way this game's going. You want to make sure you get it right. Emery Weiner, as you can see, I don't know if you guys can or not, but they've got a good crowd here tonight. Definitely a large amount of students and definitely several parents as well here to cheer on their Jaguars.
So he is short, only just barely, and it'll be 4th down and looks like about maybe 6 inches. 1:41 first quarter.
Would think Coach Reimer's here probably going to hand the ball off to Gerst if he's out there. The way he's been able to pick up yards, I wouldn't be surprised.
Gerst on the sideline at the moment.
We've got Connor Duffy in the backfield with Doran Eustein on 4th down and inches. Duffy gets the handoff, lost the football. Loose on the deck inside the 15. Emery Weiner and Lakehill both trying to jump on top of it. Who's got the football?
That's quite the scrum going on there.
Fumble on the play,
Emery Weiner certainly thinks they have the ball. Several players have come out of the pile signaling in that direction.
The officials have yet to signal.
They're bringing the football back, but still yet no signal from the officials. Whose football is it?
Well, I think what they're looking at, because if Emery Weiner fumbles, they can't fumble it forward. You know, you can't advance the ball on a fumble.
First down, Emery Weiner.
I think they probably gave it to him because it looks like he probably gained the line that he needed to, but just fumbled it after. So I think that's why they're placing it back to where it looked like it was fumbled at. So good call by the officials.
The end result there is that Emery Weiner did indeed recover. If it were recovered by Lakehill Prep, it would be Warrior football. But the Jaguars keep it, and as a result, they do indeed gain the first down. The officials deem only just barely, but it is a first down on 4th and short. And Emery Weiner's got a fresh set of downs, 1st and 15.
Huge break for Emery Weiner. Lakehill, frankly, they've been on their heels and could have really benefited from that stop. The coaching staff for Lakehill not happy about this at all. They're asking for an explanation for the ref. At one point, 3 of their coaches were out on the field and quite emphatically requesting a meeting about this.
Yeah, Coach Middle not too happy about it. So timeout was taken by Lakehill. Obviously want to regroup, want to get your guys, back on the same page. Obviously that was a tough one to lose. Mitchell Crow was there to get it, but just couldn't hold on to that fumble.
Now the down, okay. The down marker briefly had been moved back to 4th down. I was trying to figure out what the confusion was there, but they say it is indeed a first down, 1st and 15 at the 16-yard line for Doran Eustein and Emery Weiner. 1:23 to play first quarter. Jaguars on top 8-0 and looking to add to it. Eustein with Gerst to his right. Motion man across the formation, and they'll pitch it that way. Gerst trying to get the corner. Not able to turn upfield. Hit right at the sideline. Officials deemed that it wasn't a late hit.
Emery Weiner's fans do not agree with that, but once again, the refs are closer to action than we are, so.
But going to look at the replay there. I mean, that looked like it was a good step or two out of bounds. I wonder if we can get another peek at it here before they snap the football. On what'll be 2nd down and 12.
Here it is.
Yeah, definitely a little late there for sure. Mitchell Crow got away with one on that one. We'll see what Emery does on this play.
No flag, and it's 2nd down and 11. Eustein up to throw with it over the middle. It's intercepted. Picked off by Lakehill Prep, and going back the other direction is Mitchell Crow. Had a chance to make a play on the fumble recovery, wasn't able to. Perhaps got away with one on the late hit out of bounds. Just one play ago, and then right at the goal line here makes a huge interception to turn the tide a little bit. Lakehill Prep football.
And we said they needed a break, and they got one in a big way. Here's the replay. He's just eyeing this ball all the way down. Mitchell Crow with the great interception.
Got an injury on the field. It's number 4 for Emery Weiner.
That's Leo Gerst, their stud running back, the sophomore who's in there for Austin Smith, their usual starter at the running back position. Good to see him back up and on his feet, because without Austin Smith, Leo Gerst is a big, big part of that Jaguar offense, and frankly defense to a certain extent as well.
Yeah, definitely look like he's going to come out for a play or two, so we'll see if the Warriors can really capitalize on not having him on the field. See what guys they bring out for Lakehill. It's like they've got their size up front, so they're going to try to run the ball.
Tight formation for Nathan Lewis. On 1st and 15, and he'll hand off to Ryan Henry. Picking his way for 5 or 6 as he gets across midfield.
And again, the converging tacklers for Emery Weiner. That was number 5, Benjamin Dauber, and 44, Connor Koenig.
they're doing a really good job of making sure Henry doesn't get out in the open. Henry's obviously, pretty quick kid, think runs, somewhere in the low 11s in track, so he's got some speed. They're doing a good job of really containing him.
A defensive start here through almost one full quarter of play. This may be the final snap after this flag. 15 seconds on the clock in the first quarter, and a false start against Lakehill Prep. But 2 defensive stops already today by Emery Weiner. 1 from Lakehill Prep, and a grand total of 8 points through one quarter of play. See if Lakehill can add to that in these final 15 seconds, but certainly a low-scoring start to this football game. Final play of the first quarter as the handoff goes to Ryan Henry, trying to get her on the left edge. He's breaking free. Ryan Henry to the end zone. Touchdown, Lakehill Prep.
There's a flag.
There is a flag down at the 25-yard line.
That's a
Somebody threw a block on number 26, Jack Greenberg, for Emery Weiner, and I think it's coming back as a result of that.
Block in the back against Lakehill Prep.
Man, that's a heartbreaker for sure. Jeez.
Great run from Ryan Henry, who I can't help but notice was carrying the football a little precariously there.
Yeah, that's a little scary as a coach. You really want to make sure that he carries that ball high and tight, and he's carrying it like a loaf of bread. So I'm sure Coach Mitchell during this quarter break is going to tell him, hey, son, why don't you make sure to just tuck that football.
But that is the end of quarter number 1. Emery Weiner clinging to that 8-0 lead, and the beneficiaries of the penalty there on the final play of quarter number 1. Lakehill Prep with the football when we come back on TAPS TV. Back at Panther Stadium here on TAPS TV in Waco, Texas. Mike Leslie, Matt Tarbutton, and Gabe Duarte here with you for game number 3 of the day, the final 6-man championship handed out over the course of these next 3 quarters between Emery Weiner and Lakehill Prep. 2nd down and 6. Handoff goes to a wide open part of space for Ryan Henry inside the 10 and inside the 5.
Great run there by Henry. Excellent job finding the hole in the defense, taking off. Thought he was going to score, but Emery did a good job containing him there at the very end. But, man, if they let Henry keep going, it's going to be a long night.
And this time tucking the ball closer to him, so maybe Coach did say something to him with that last stoppage.
Sets up 1st and goal now from the 2. Henry lined up behind Nathan Lewis. Lewis is going to look to throw for it. Fires on the right-hand side in the end zone. Touchdown.
That was Mitchell Crow on that touchdown. Put him out at wide receiver. Excellent throw by Lewis. And Lakehill is on the board.
Nathan Lewis to Mitchell Crow, a junior to a sophomore. Crow plays literally everywhere for this Lakehill Prep offense. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, lines up at guard sometimes. And he finds pay dirt for the first time today for Lakehill Prep. Henry Hopkins will come on, the sophomore kicker, trying to add the 2-point PAT. And it's up and through. 8-8 our score, just 14 seconds into the second quarter here. Nathan Lewis to Mitchell Crow, and an impressive drive from Lakehill Prep, taking advantage, guys, of the interception by Mitchell Crow. So Crow does it on both ends of it here. The interception at the goal line, and they go 80 full yards if you include the yardage on the interception to the end zone to tie this game up at 8 points apiece.
Yeah, that was great. Great way to rebound after that first drive that Emery Weiner had. You know, Emery was driving down, scored, and then Lakehill got the stop, got the turnover, and was able to turn it into some points. That's as a coach, that's how you want your team to respond. Looks like Mitchell Crow is handling kickoff duties for the Warriors.
Crow and Luca Varnes will kick off, as well as Henry Hopkins. All three of them will split those duties some.
Must be nice to have three of them. I have one at the most usually.
The touchback leads to 1st and 15 from the 20. Houston will be in shotgun. Good to see Leo Gerst back on the football field after he came up lame after the play where the interception happened. One wide receiver to either side of the formation here for Emery Weiner. Ball's on the deck, and Houston just has to pounce on top of it. Jonas Shaw was in the backfield very quickly to make sure that they weren't able to do anything with that after the bobbled snap.
Sure, Coach Reimer's telling his quarterback right now, relax, we'll be fine. You know, the big thing is you don't want to have a bad play and then compound it with another bad play. You always tell your players, flush it, get rid of it, don't worry about it. Can't have two negative plays, always have a negative then a positive.
Sets up 2nd and 22 now. So Jimmy Labrie, beg your pardon, Reimers, the offensive coordinator for Emery Weiner, trying to dial up something, and a nice run here from Leo Gerst to get out of bounds and get out beyond the original line of scrimmage to the 34. Beg your pardon, the 24.
Coach Reimer's doing a great job getting his guys in space, really forcing Lakehill to play one-on-one, which obviously they've got the athletes to do. But, you know, if one guy misses, you don't know if the other guy will get him behind him.
So that's up 3rd down and 11. So they got half of it back there on 2nd and 22. Houston to Gerst once again, runs out and tries to block for him, but good pursuit, and it's Ryan Henry again making the play. Dragging him down in the backfield, a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 4th and long.
Henry definitely showed off his speed there on defense. You know, he's got good lateral speed, and he was able to chase down the runner on that. That was impressive.
So it looks like they're going to line up and punt this football away on 4th down and 13.
Lakehill made a last-second substitution there. One of their players went limping off.
Vincent Banks, the punter, a line drive. Checks up inside. Really an unfortunate bounce there for Emery Weiner. That ball was on a line and certainly looked like it should have bounced another 15 yards deeper into Lakehill Prep's territory, but checks up right at the 30, and that's where they'll take over.
Wonder if Lakehill's going to continue to run the ball here. They did an excellent job last drive, really gaining some yards, really eating up, you know, time after time after time with Ryan Henry. So we'll see.
You mentioned earlier the somewhat inequity in terms of number of bodies for these two football teams as Ryan Henry cuts up field and picks up about 6 on the first play of the drive. Emery Weiner's got 23 guys on their roster, and they will run several of them out on the defensive side of the ball to try and keep their guys fresh. They feel like it's all about alignment, assignment, and running to the football, and they're trying to get 6 hats to the ball every single play. A lot of coaches will say those kinds of things about what they're trying to do defensively, but just in terms of the number of bodies that they can continue to rotate out there and actually put those words into action, maybe what slows down and eventually wears down this Lakehill Prep offense. But for the meantime, Ryan Henry spinning through tackles and picking up first downs as he gets across midfield down to the 30 on Emery Weiner's side of the field.
Yeah, Henry's doing a great job of, really moving well on contact. He is coming off a little gingerly now, which is not good. Looks like they will probably go more of a spread look now. Up now.
He goes down to the field. Gets back up now and hobbles his way off, but he did for a second there after coming up gimpy. That's collapsed at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's not good for Lakehill at all. He's been their workhorse. He's been their man most of the season, him and Mitchell Crow. So let's see what they do here.
Expect to see an awful lot of Kaiser Hall in his absence. Number 21, the senior, and he's going to be the one who gets the handoff here on 1st down and 15, but he's taken down in the backfield. The defensive line from Emery Weiner read that one very well.
Jack Greenberg, number 26, Johnny on the spot there with the stop.
If I was Coach Jimmy LeBrie for Lakehill, I might switch to the spread here, but he's going to see. I think probably a good play-action pass here would be good, so something to dial up. Obviously not having Henry in at running back, you're going to have to do some different things to be able to move the ball.
LeBrie, the offensive coordinator at Lakehill Prep in his 8th year on the coaching staff, looking deep downfield. That ball's overshot. Intended for Mitchell Crow. LeBrie, a Lakehill alum, in fact. And now has to draw something up here on 3rd and 16.
Yeah, it's always a neat opportunity. I had the chance to do it when I was first out of college, to be able to go back and coach at your alma mater, to be able to pour into the same kids you may have known before, maybe known their older brother or sister. It's definitely a neat opportunity. I wouldn't say it's for everybody, but, obviously you have that loyalty factor, the care that you have for your school. So that's a neat opportunity for Jimmy.
3rd down and 16 for LeBrie's offense here. Ball on the 31 on Emery Weiner's side of the field. Pitch back to Kaiser Hall, gets the corner, lowers his shoulder to get down to the 22.
Good run there by Lakehill. Got 4th and manageable now, not a 4th and 15. So, about 4th and 7-ish, probably what we'll call it.
Looks just about, yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. Now they're going to spread it out, put Crow back deep.
Dylan Shue making the tackle for Emery Weiner on that last play.
Still have not seen Ryan Henry come back on the football field. Lewis at quarterback, Crow at the spread back, and he'll get the pitch. Crow with pressure in his face, fires downfield, short and incomplete.
Big stop there by the Emery Weiner defense. Not saying they did do their job, but, short pass there. Good rush. Good rush there by the Emery Weiner, front 2 or 3 to really get some pressure on them. So that was definitely a good job by them. Let's see if the Jaguars can really put some pressure on Lakehill and put some points up here.
So 1st and 10 for the Jaguars offense. Eustine hands it off. Leo Gerst fought through 1 tackle, but not able to get free of Jonah Shaw. And a pickup of 2. Shaw, the defensive player of the year in Lakehill Prep's district. Lakehill Prep plays in District 1 in Division 1. Went 6-0 in district play this year.
Yeah, they handled themselves pretty well in district. Close game with Denton Calvary and Gainesville Lone Star North, but they've been doing pretty well so far all year.
Now in the backfield, they take him down, and once again, it's Jonah Shaw making the play.
Consecutive plays for Jonah Shaw. He is fired up. Seems to be the vocal leader of that defense as well.
It'll be 3rd down and 18 now for Emery Weiner.
Yeah, he's done a great job for his team, really getting them going, really getting them excited. Football's a game with a lot of passion, and they're really doing a lot with it today.
A very defensive first quarter and a half. 5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter, and it's 8-8. This time they connect, though, on 3rd down and long, and it's a first down pickup to Connor Koenig.
Great job by the quarterback there to get him on the crossing route. That was a huge throw by the young sophomore quarterback, using tempo now.
Back to the line of scrimmage they come as the handoff goes to Gerst, cut back to the left-hand side and slung down.
Great open field tackle there by number 21.
Kaiser Hall, that's the senior corner, and also has become a very key piece on offense for them over the course of this year, and even more so if Ryan Henry can't play. Still have not seen number 5 come back on the football field. I haven't been able to spot him on the sideline just yet either. Maybe behind the down marker, it looks like.
He's over under the tent. They're still getting attention.
Oh, beg your pardon. Okay.
He's on crutches. That's not good.
That is not a good sign. 2nd down and 9 here. Houston with all day. Now throws on the left-hand side as he got some pressure. Finds Gerst, but Gerst is going to be taken down for a loss. And again, it's Kaiser Hall making a big tackle, and it'll be 3rd down and a dozen.
Be interested to see how Coach Reimers uses his play calling now. Obviously, with Henry, looks like he'll probably be out the rest of the ball game. You hate to see that for him.
Well, here, one sec, real quick. That's actually not Henry. That's Gage McKnight that we're seeing on crutches right now on the far side.
Absolutely right.
Whoops. We make mistakes. It's okay.
No, I mean, until he came out from the tent, you only could have assumed that it was Ryan Henry. But now that he's come out of the tent, you see the 44s. The ball's on the deck, and Houston has to jump on top of it again. And that's going to set up 4th down and very long.
Yeah, Henry's over there on the sidelines. I think trying to get loosened up.
Trying to walk it off, yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably be a safe bet if I was Coach Mitchell, to probably rest him for the rest of the half. No point in trying to rush him back, especially with the way the defense is playing.
Defense is playing very well. The offense has done a couple of nice things as well, and part of that's been because of Kaiser Hall, who's been on the field in place of Ryan Henry. They come after the punt. They don't quite get to it. They pick it up on the run, though. That's Mitchell Crow with the head of steam. He's going to bring it back beyond what was the original line of scrimmage on that play for Emery Weiner. Great field position here for Lakehill Prep at the 31-yard line on the Jaguars side of the field. 2:43 on the clock here in the first half, 8-8. A much lower scoring football game than we expected from these two teams. Both defenses really playing well.
And Ryan Henry is back in the game.
Very big development here, and he gets the handoff on the first play of the drive. Hops through a couple of tackles and now slung down, maybe gets a yard out of all of that.
Definitely.
To see him back on his feet and back in the game is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely a very physical ball game as well, being played by both teams. I mean, obviously football is meant to be played physically, and both these teams are taking that to point.
Coach Mitchell not taking your advice in leaving him on the sideline until the second half.
Well, now he comes off. He's back over there resting. I think it's probably the best thing for him.
I would tend to agree, yeah. Just give him, I mean, you got a 20-minute halftime coming your way and, about 5 minutes worth of real time with 1:58 and moving on the clock. A lot of pressure in the face. They throw it to Mitchell Crow. He makes the catch, but nowhere for him to go. Is coming through to make the tackle is Ben Dauber.
Yeah,
Nathan Lewis had pressure immediately in his face.
Yeah, excellent play there by the front line, Emery. They were able to get some pressure on him, and then their defensive back was able to read that perfectly. Follow the quarterback's eyes, see Mitchell Crow for the catch, and then plant him. Excellent defensive play.
3rd and 14 now. They'll put Crow back at spread back, and Lewis will pitch it to him and give him the run pass option here on 3rd and 14. Steps forward past the pressure. He's got past 2, can't get past the 3rd, and finally slung down after he falls forward for a gain of 3.
Mitchell Crow had a heads-up play there because I think he was looking to throw the ball, but a very smart play by him. I think he saw that he was past the line of scrimmage, and that wouldn't have been a good idea.
Sets up 4th down and
4th down and 10 for Lakehill.
I got to get to the 17-yard line. So, yeah, 4th down and an even 10 here. 38 seconds and moving. Play clock down to 10. Looks like they will snap it here, but they down to 1 on the play clock, and they finally do snap it, and now a timeout right before the snap called by Emery Weiner.
Coach Reimers wanted to get him set, wanted to make sure everything's good, with – let's see, 26 seconds left in this quarter. Definitely think it's a smart idea. You don't want to allow anything here because I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Emery Weiner gets it at halftime.
It will be Emery Weiner ball to start the second half. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think if he can hold Lakehill to no points here and then get the ball back, either with some time, which may have about 20 seconds or so left if they can keep them from converting the 4th down. But if not, just at least not allowing them to put points on the board. That'd be definitely a win for sure for the Jaguars.
I couldn't help but wonder if Lakehill wasn't lining up to try and pin him deep. But, if you kick it out of the back of the end zone, you'd gain a grand total of 7 yards of field position if you get a touchback. So there's not a whole. If you can punt it well and pin them inside the 10, maybe it's worth it with only 26 seconds on the clock. We'll see what they do here, but it looks like Mitchell Crow's going to be in there in the spread back once again behind Lewis. Again, if you're not accustomed to 6-man football, the quarterback cannot run with the ball unless there's been an exchange in the backfield. So that exchange right there gives Crow the run pass option, and he's going to try and run for it here on 4th down and 10. Getting to the corner, stepping inside the 10, inside close to the 5. 15 seconds left. He picks up the 1st down, and it's going to be 1st and goal. And now all of a sudden, Lakehill's in business.
Yep, looks like they're going to spot it probably about,
looks like the 6.
Yep, 6-yard line. So that's going to give them a 1st down and 15 seconds to work with.
They still have all 3 timeouts. They can use any part of the field.
Great run by Crow. Took a couple of hits on his way down, but was able to keep motoring and has his team in great shape here with 15 seconds.
Yeah, Mitchell Crow, a sophomore, played last year as a freshman a lot. We played against him in district. Good little player, but, was a freshman. And so we saw him this year put on about, 15, 20 pounds of muscle. I was like, he ain't no freshman no more. So he's really stepped up for the Lakehill Warriors tonight, and be interested to see if he can get them to, punch in and get a few more points here before the half.
Emery Weiner's head coach Jason Reimers said of Lakehill's Mitchell Crow that he's a game breaker. He said he's absolutely somebody that they had noticed on film and were preparing for. Crow with a big pickup there on 4th down and 10, and that sets up 1st and goal at the 6 with 15 seconds to play here in the second quarter. It'll be Lewis out there alongside Henry Hopkins. Lewis gets it in the spread back. Pressure in his face, tries to throw it, and falls harmlessly incomplete. 11 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, they tried to put out Mitchell Crow out at a wideout spot, obviously try to get him the ball. But problem is Nathan Lewis, great quarterback. He's just not as fleet-footed. And so It's definitely tough, especially with the speed that Emery is putting in the backfield against Lewis. I think in this position you're going to have to put Crow back there at quarterback unless you maybe run a tight formation and, have him get a quick throw off or something like that.
We have not seen Ryan Henry on this drive since the first play of it when he gained a yard. 11 seconds left, second down and goal from the 6. Lewis looking into the end zone for Crow. Did he make the catch? Yes, sir. Touchdown. Warriors go in front with 5 seconds to play in the first half.
That was an excellent play there by Crow. Faked hard inside like he was running the post, went back outside for the flag route. And, man, that was a pretty route. Nathan Lewis set his feet, got the throw. Excellent job there, man. That was a heck of a play by Mitchell Crow.
2 touchdown passes from Nathan Lewis to Mitchell Crow bookend the second quarter. One on the very first play of quarter number 2, and one on darn near the last play. With 5 seconds to play, the Warriors go in front. They have the extra point blocked, so it'll stay 14-8. And the second quarter is about ready to wind to a conclusion. Very defensive first half, fellas. I mean, this is as low scoring a game as we've seen so far today from 6 different 6-man teams.
Absolutely. We've seen a good amount of defense from all 6 teams that we've watched.
Yeah.
But this game, this has been a lot different. Most teams have at least gotten to about 20 or 30 by halftime, but these 2 teams have really, coaches done a good job preparing, good job watching film, good job, really getting these guys set up for this game, and it's really, I think, going to set up for an excellent second half.
And what you've seen consistently from both teams is team tackling, a lot of converging on the ball. It's not just up to one man.
They will kick it deep, and it goes through the hands of Leo Gerst. 5 seconds on the clock, and it'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
I think he played that one off his face mask. I think he thought it was going to be a little bit lower than it was, but it's all right. Still got the touchback. So looks like probably, I think, knowing Emery Weiner, they'll probably try to throw it up here. Maybe do some sort of short throw, get their guys open. At least try to get themselves a chance to score with 5 seconds, but we'll see.
Snap again goes through the hands of Doran Eustein. He has had struggles with that throughout this first half. Multiple times we've seen him have to just jump on top of the ball in the backfield. And an inauspicious finish to the first half for the Emery Weiner Jaguars offense. Just 8 points on the board through 20 minutes worth of play. Nice defensive effort from each of these 2 teams, guys, and a 14-8 lead for Lakehill Prep thanks to their 2 second quarter touchdown passes from Nathan Lewis to Mitchell Crow. And that's where things stand after one half. But again, not the first half we expected from 2 teams that are used to scoring 50, 60, 70 points in a game. 14-8 after one half.
Yeah, that is not what we expected. But, a state championship game and, teams you probably don't see very often and, obviously off a short week as well. Definitely a good game to watch and looking forward to a great second half.
So here come the Lakehill Prep cheerleaders. We'll let you guys enjoy the halftime show, and we'll come back in a couple minutes with a little analysis of what we saw through one half of play.
Junior Maya Harris, freshman Millie Castoldi, sophomore Madison Beeson, junior Sophia Ganson, senior Loveth Hurd, senior Claire Howard, freshman Emery Johnston, senior Haley Lopez, senior Stella Palmer, sophomore Sydney Rutherford, junior Georgina Stevens, senior Lindley Wagoner, sophomore Grayson Walker, senior Ella Witherite, junior Michelle Reed, senior Zoe Herman, sophomore Brooke Granada, and sophomore Megan Gilman. Emery Weiner School varsity cheerleading squad. Members of the squad include sophomore Abigail Goldman, junior Alexa Taven, sophomore Anna Kate Cooper, sophomore Emma Barber, senior captain Jaden Grossman, freshman Jenna Paul, junior Josie Zisman, sophomore Julia Danziger, freshman Kylie Markowitz, sophomore Lauren Dauber, freshman Lily Harrison, sophomore Leah Kistner, senior captain Rachel Massett, freshman Samantha Weiss, sophomore Sophie Sorkin, and the mascot is Jeremiah the Jaguar. Coach of the Emery Weiner varsity cheerleading squad is Megan Avery.
Back at Midway ISD Panther Stadium, 14-8 the score in favor of the Lakehill Prep Warriors. 2 touchdown passes from Nathan Lewis to Mitchell Crow to get us where we are right now, answering a Leo Gerst touchdown run in the first quarter. 14-8 the tally right now. Here at halftime, a couple interviews from our man Gabe Duarte, who spoke with a couple of notable folks from each of the 2 respective schools tonight before kickoff.
Gabe Duarte here with TAPS TV and radio. We're on the sidelines just moments before kickoff, and we found a special guest with us. Why don't you introduce yourself for our audience, please?
I'm Nancy Hewitt. I'm the Director of Athletics at the Emery School in Houston, Texas.
Excellent. Welcome. Congratulations on being here today. Can you tell us a little bit about your school?
Sure. We've been around for about 20 years. We're located in Houston, Texas, just near Meyerland, West University, Bel Air area. We're a Jewish day / college preparatory school. We have about 75 to 80 kids per grade level, and we're 6 through 12.
Excellent. How's it feel to be here today?
We're super excited to be here. It's an honor and a privilege. We're thankful for everything that TAPS does to support our schools and to put us on a stage like this. Our kids have had a great day. We had a big pep rally at school. We brought 4 loads of fan buses, so we've got a couple hundred people here. They're super excited, and we're really glad to be playing Lakehill out of Dallas. We know they're a very respectable school, and we're excited to play them, and we're going to have a good time tonight.
That's terrific. Best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Back to you guys. Here with TAPS TV and radio. We are on the sidelines just moments before kickoff, and we've got a special guest with us. Special guest, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Bob Getterdahl. I'm the athletic director and head of upper school at Lakehill.
Great, and tell us a little bit about Lakehill.
Lakehill, we're located in East Dallas by White Rock Lake in Dallas, and we are K-12 college preparatory school. We have about 400 students K-12, and in high school we have 105 students.
How does it feel to be here tonight?
Oh, we're excited. It's been a great season. It's been a long season, but we've had a wonderful time. Emery's had a wonderful season, and we're really excited. I think we played them last year in the first round of the playoffs, so to come back and play them now in this format is just wonderful, and we're all excited. I think it's going to be a great game, and we really appreciate everything TAPS has done. It's first class set up, and we've really enjoyed everything so far today.
Excellent. Thank you for being with us. Good luck to you.
All right. Go Warriors. Thank you.
Back to you guys in the studio.
For you here on Game Time.
Aiden loves playing baseball. He's in his element when he picks up a baseball bat.
When Aiden tore his ACL last year, we were all devastated. We didn't think that a 13-year-old could have a problem such as that.
Children's Health Andrews Institute for Orthopedic and Sports Medicine not only repaired Aiden's ACL, but they gave him the knowledge and skills to prevent any future injuries.
Now, less than a year later, he's back to hitting homers and doing phenomenal.
Panther Stadium, Lakehill Prep with a 14-8 lead over the Emery Weiner Jaguars. 2 Nathan Lewis touchdown passes to Mitchell Crow. 1 on the first play of the second quarter and 1 on the second to last play of the second quarter. That's the scoring so far today for Lakehill Prep. All of their points coming in the second quarter. All of Emery Weiner's points coming in the first quarter on a Leo Gerst touchdown run midway through the opening frame. A very defensive football game through one half. Mike Leslie and Gabe Duarte here with you in the booth right now, awaiting the return of Matt Tarbutton and awaiting the return of football as well. Second half about 6.5 minutes away. But Gabe, a very interesting and somewhat surprising first half of play from these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot of potential on offense, but the defense seems to close the door at all the right moments, and we've got this low-scoring game, especially for a six-man affair. 11 combined shutouts over the course of these two team seasons. So, it's been surprising for us based on what we expected from these two teams, but I guess overall in the grand scheme of things, we knew we had good defenses coming onto this field.
Lakehill had outscored their 3 playoff opponents so far this postseason by a 163-21 score. And Emery Weiner, after a first-round bye, had averaged more than 46 points per game in their 2 wins. And despite that, 22 combined points from these two football teams through one half of play. Lakehill Prep 12-0 on the year, 6-0 in District 1. Emery Weiner 11-1, 5-0 in District 3. A matchup of a Dallas Power and a Houston Power meeting at something of a midway point here in Waco with a state title on the line. 20 minutes left to decide who will be the best 6-man Division I football team in the state of Texas.
And this is our 3rd straight game featuring an undefeated team versus a one-loss team. And it's worked out really well in terms of entertainment in the first 2 and expecting the exact same thing here in game number 3.
This is the 3rd of 7 total games this weekend. The 3 6-man games will be in the books once this one comes to a conclusion. And then 4 11-man state championships over the course of Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, the Division I championship game. 11-1 Parish Episcopal against 10-3 John Paul II. One of, Gabe, in my opinion, the most compelling stories in all of Texas high school football across the state, whether you're talking public, private, I don't care. JP2 is a fascinating story. A team that lost 58 consecutive district games dating back to 2009. The way they snap that losing streak is by winning in 11 overtimes against the defending state champion in Bishop Dunn. And then they turn that into going on a run through the playoffs and to the state championship game where they now have to take on the number 1 team in the state in Division I and arguably the best private school team, period, in the state in Parish Episcopal. But what a run for JP2.
Absolutely. It is a quintessential storybook sort of year for them. They've got Cinderella saying, "Did you see that?" And it's just been really incredible what they've accomplished there. That should be a fantastic game, so we hope you guys will join us tomorrow at noon for that game.
We hope you'll stick around, though, for the balance of this one as well. This should be a fun finish between Emery Weiner and Lakehill Prep. Warriors with a 14-8 lead through one half of play. When we come back on TAPS TV, the second half kickoff in the Division I 6-man state championship game. back at Midway ISD's Panther Stadium here in Waco, Texas for second half action. Emery Weiner and the Lakehill Prep Warriors. It'll be Emery Weiner with the football first. And a short kick on the far side. Fair catch, signaled for and dropped. They pounce on top of it, and it will indeed be Jaguar football.
We've been talking about defense. I'll tell you who's got my interest. Number 3, Jonah Shaw for Lakehill has really been gearing it up and getting more and more of becoming more and more of a factor here in this game towards the second half. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he continues that into the third quarter.
There's a reason he won Player of the Year in Division I, District 1. He's made a bunch of plays here in the first half, but he's going to try and chase down Leo Gerst here on first down and 15 inside Lakehill Prep territory on one play. Pickup of a dozen. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Gerst ran hard throughout that first half, especially early on, and you have to imagine they'll try to get him going here in the opening moments of the second half.
These are the clear-cut 2 best teams in Division I. They've been on a collision course all season and throughout the playoffs. And they're locked in a tight one here, a defensive battle in the third quarter and a flag. Will that be a false start, or will that be Jonah Shaw jumping too quick? Looks like it's going to go against the offense. Emery Weiner already starting to walk backward, and that'll turn 2nd and 3 into 2nd and 8.
Looked like the center sort of pump faked the snap there for a second.
So 2nd and 8 for Doran Eustein, and Leo Gerst saddled to his left in shotgun. Gerst will get the pitch. Breaks through into the clear. Can he break one last tackle? Yes, he can. Leo Gerst to pay dirt.
Boy, watching Gerst run, it just doesn't seem like his legs stop moving, and there's another example of it there, breaking that final tackle, and there was nothing but pay dirt in front of him.
52 seconds into the third quarter, Leo Gerst from 40 yards out, touchdown, Emery Weiner. They've tied the game up, and they'll try a 2-point PAT here to try and take the lead. Vincent Banks on to kick it for the Jaguars. Out of the hold of Doran Eustein, and it's up and through. 16-14, Emery Weiner with their first lead since it was 8-0. Fast start here in the second half for Emery Weiner. Leo Gerst with a couple of good runs. The second one from 40 yards out to the end zone. And just 52 seconds into the second half, they've got a 2-point lead on Lakehill Prep.
I'm sure some of the Emery Weiner fans are probably thinking, Coach, I think the keys to success is feed Gerst.
Yeah.
Because he has been a rock for him this evening.
He is certainly the future of that program. Austin Smith, big number 22, on the near sideline, standing right at midfield. Has not played all night. They were hopeful that he'd be able to dress out and perhaps do something. But their starting running back and starting middle linebacker injured last week in the state semifinals. They worked all week on him, trying to get him ready to play, but just not quite ready to be out on the football field. But Leo Gerst doing a heck of a job in his stead, and only a sophomore. When Austin Smith graduates, that's Leo Gerst's program, and they're in fine hands with him running the football.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played well tonight on both sides. Definitely been huge offensively for him, obviously, as we've seen on both of their scoring drives. But he's done a great job, really able to find the hole, has some great wheels on him. So it'll be good to see, especially for the next couple years.
So Emery Weiner capitalizes on their first possession of the second half. Lakehill Prep scored on their final possession of the first half to take that 14-8 lead, and they hand it off to Ryan Henry as he squirrels his way on the left-hand side, trying to pick up a few. We'll see what kind of answer Lakehill Prep can come up with.
Ryan the ball carrier. Tackle by number 20, Alex Plotkin.
Continue to see a lot of substitutions for the defense for Emery Weiner, keeping their legs fresh.
Second down and a dozen. Henry lowers his shoulder into the pile, but there to make the play is Connor Koenig.
And I think Coach Reimers is also trying to get a little bit more size up front against that big front line of Lakehill. Trying to match him size with size, which has seemed to work well these last couple plays because Henry was able to gash him a little bit there in that second quarter.
Third down and 10 forthcoming. Jack Greenberg doing a little dance right over top of the football here before the snap. They hand it off to Henry. Nowhere for him to go. And in on the play was Greenberg.
They're doing an excellent job of really forcing Ryan Henry to take his time reading the defense because he's getting up to the line and really kind of has to kind of hesitate for a moment to be able to see which hole he needs to go through, and then Emery's doing a great job of closing those down quick.
Fourth down and 9 coming up. Wholesale changes for Lakehill Prep here as they back into, at the very least, a spread formation, perhaps a punt formation, and they will kick the football away as Henry sends it left to right, checks up at the 21-yard line, and they'll down it at the 23. The wind is still whipping from right to left. It may not be quite as strong as what we were seeing earlier today, but it's still pinning these flags pretty hard.
Weather report calling it 15 miles an hour now. So a little better, but perhaps still enough to affect the football just a little bit.
Pardon my memory, but what were you seeing earlier today?
Earlier we had gusts up to 25 and a consistent 18 to 19.
That makes sense. First and 15. An awful lot of running room for Leo Gerst once again.
Lakehill's really looking to kind of stay in that man-to-man defense, but the problem is, kind of putting their secondary about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, which is allowing Leo Gerst and that Emery offense a lot of room to work with.
Second and 5 after a pickup of 10 on the first play of the drive for Emery Weiner. Justine, spread formation, handoff to Gerst. Bounces off a couple of tacklers and his own blocker, now circling back around, trying to make something happen here. Flag comes in at the end of the play. Nice job by the Lakehill Prep defense to kind of keep him bottled up and not allow him to break loose. And it will be a hold against Emery Weiner on top of it all. Based on where that football, based on the position of that flag, looks like it'll be second and 13 or 14 after all this.
Number 3, Jonas Shaw is down on a knee. He fell to a seated position for a moment, but now appears to be okay.
And he and Mitchell Crow, I don't know if they may have just been talking to one another. I'm not sure if they were hurt or not. They're both back up now. Gerst in a nice cut upfield and gets absolutely hammered by Mitchell Crow.
I think there was just team effort on tying the shoe there.
Gerst a little slow getting up after that hit by Crow.
I mean, he caught a face mask right in the chest plate.
Here it is.
Yeah, Crow does a great job of coming down hard on the run, and he did it that time as well.
I'm going to talk about bringing all of your body weight behind a tackle. And Leo Gerst stopped where he was. 3rd and 3 after that. 5.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Emery Weiner with a 2-point lead after a touchdown on their opening drive of the frame. Handoff to Dauber. Leg drive. First down. right at midfield.
Like to see if Lakehill's going to make any adjustments, because as you can see with their alignment against the Emery Weiner offense, they tend to be stacking it one way or another, and Emery Weiner's, they're content with getting 5 or 6 yards, especially on a run. And the way Gerst is running, you give him too much confidence or too much room, he's going to take it.
It's Dauber in there right now as Gerst continues to get a blow after he came up a little bit gimpy. Seems fine on the sideline here on the near side, number 4 at midfield. But they pitch it out to Dauber here on 1st and 15, and nowhere to go this time. Good pursuit by the Lakehill defense, and he's taken down for a short loss.
Benjamin Dauber, the ball carrier. He's tripped up by number 43, Logan Stout. No gain on the play.
Yeah, the problem being a defensive coordinator in 6-man, especially against these wide open offenses, like what Emery Weiner runs, you're going to kind of have to choose, hey, am I going to play a zone, try to keep everything in front of me, but allow a few short runs, or am I going to try to play man-to-man on the outside, but have the chance of possibly giving up a big play?
2nd and a little more than 15. Ball sitting right behind the midfield stripe. Houston in shotgun. He's got Gerst back on the field to his right, and he gets the pitch, and Gerst has got a lot of room. Cuts up field across the 30. Sets up 3rd down and about 4 with a nice run.
Brought down by Ryan Henry there.
Gerst and Henry toe-to-toe. If that's not the football game right there in a nutshell. Gerst gets the handoff again and met right at the sticks.
Gerst taking another shot at the end of that play.
They are making him pay for every yard, but he's got enough for the 1st down. And they're down to the 25, 1st and 15. All Emery Weiner so far here in this 3rd quarter. And they're looking to pay that off with another touchdown here. Houston. To Gerst. Nice pursuit in the backfield. Keegan Clendenin in on the tackle.
Yeah, he did a great job coming in and coming off the sidelines, making a play when you're put in. That's really gives your coach a lot of trust in you if you can really go in and do your job when you're called upon.
Gain of 1 on the play, 2nd and 14. Gerst still in there. He'll saddle to the left of Houston. A wide receiver to either side, 2 offensive linemen. Gerst with the handoff. And right there to meet him behind the line of scrimmage is Ryan Henry. And it'll be 3rd and long.
Henry came in with a full head of steam and brought him down immediately.
Substitute a couple guys in, number 5, number 7, but looks like Emery Weiner's probably going to have to throw a little bit right now because Lakehill is picking up on the run game.
Ben Dauber and Dylan Shue coming into the football game. That's 5 and 7 as they'll go spread here on 3rd down and 16. Shue to the near side, Dauber in the backfield alongside Doran Houston in shotgun. Rolls to the right, looks deep over the middle, wide open, touchdown. Josh Blum in for 6.
And the Emery crowd goes wild.
Here's the play. He was wide open. A great scheme to free up number 28.
It's Josh Blum, their usual starting center, making the touchdown grab. Two-point PAT is up and through. And it's 24-14 as Emery Weiner opens up a 2-score lead.
Way to capitalize on the chances when you get them. Excellent job there for the Jaguars. And, you know, the way this game is going, a 10-point lead and, kind of gives you the cushion to really kind of loosen up, kind of figure out what you need to do to continue to drive, continue to gain on them. This is huge for Emery Weiner right now.
Yeah, with how good these defenses are playing, 10 points feels, ordinarily you'd never say that in a 6-man football game, but it feels like a lot right now with the way these defenses are flying around and cutting things off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're Lakehill, you got to really think, I've got to score here quick. You don't have to do it in 1 or 2 plays, but really need to get some yardage going and really need to put your foot in the ground and go because, still got 11 and a half minutes left to go in this game, but the way these offenses are eating up clock, that's not a lot.
We were somewhat downplaying the wind a moment ago, but I'm realizing all 5 touchdowns in this football game scored going in that direction from right to left. 1 from Emery Weiner in the first quarter, both Lakehill Prep touchdowns in the second quarter scored into that end zone, and both touchdowns here in the third quarter from Emery Weiner scored in the left end zone tonight. It's a little random, I suppose, but
No, I think there's something definitely to it. It's a lot easier to throw with the wind. Obviously living in Amarillo, I know something about wind, so, this is just a daily occurrence for us, but, it definitely makes you change your ideas for sure.
See what Lakehill Prep can do in their final minute 38 against the wind. Nathan Lewis rolling out, looking deep downfield, throwing into that wind for Mitchell Crow. Nearly made the adjustment and made the grab, but a flag comes in at the end of the play.
Great scramble there by Lewis to get out and open, make a good throw. Call here probably going to be pass interference against the Jaguars. Obviously, you can hear Emery Weiner is not happy about it.
I believe those words are push it, right? That's what the kids do. That's I'm sure, 1,000% what they're saying.
Absolutely.
This is a family show. And penalty against Emery Weiner's defense will bring the ball out to the 35-yard line.
Just a reminder to our fans that are watching, in high school, the pass interference is yardage. It is not a spot foul.
Yes. Just like in the college game.
Mm-hmm.
So 1st and 15 from the 35. It's Lewis faking the toss out to Lewis and finds Mitchell Crow on the near side, leaping over a defender and into Emery Weiner territory.
Doing an excellent job really spreading that Emery Jaguar defense out. Really trying to play off the run there. I think they're going to have to run it here a little bit just to keep them honest. But I think it's a pretty smart idea there by Coach Jimmy LeBrie to really kind of open that up, because if Henry can get some space in the middle, he's gone.
2nd down and 6, final 80 seconds of quarter number 3. And that'll be the end of Lakehill Prep having to deal with this wind. Henry with a cutback. He's got a lot of room. Can he break one last tackle? Yes, he can. Off to the races, Ryan Henry. Touchdown, Lakehill Prep.
Not saying I called it, but that was a great play call by Jimmy LeBrie there to get that score and touchdown with Ryan Henry.
Ryan Henry breaking tackles, cutting back against the grain, and just willing his way through the final tackler. That cuts it to a 4-point game. They can cut those 4 in half with the 2-point PAT here from Henry Hopkins.
Yeah, you could definitely see the strength of Henry as he ran through that last tackle there. Very impressive.
The extra point is blocked, and it will stay 24-20. But Ryan Henry with the long touchdown run late here in quarter number 3.
Huge play there by the Jaguar defense. Even though they gave up the touchdown, they still were able to block that 2-point extra point try. So that's definitely huge, because it keeps them with a 4-point lead. And so the way with this defensive game is going, that could be a factor in the end.
That has been the difference for Emery Weiner, both in their state semifinal and tonight. They won 48-38 against Lone Star North in the semifinals. That 10-point difference, entirely extra points. Tonight, their 4-point lead, entirely extra points. Both teams have scored 3 touchdowns. Emery has converted on all 3 2-point PATs. Lakehill only 1 of 3. And that is your 4-point difference in the ball game through just shy of 3 quarters tonight. Now they're set to kick it away. It'll be Mitchell Crow to send it to the far side. And out across to the 32-yard line.
I think that was a good idea there to definitely kind of chip shot it. You don't really want to do a onside kick. I mean, you can, but, to kind of chip shot it there. Definitely don't want to give it to Leo Gerst in the backfield. That would not a great idea there, but, so I think it was smart there, smart move for the Lakehill Warriors on kicking that one.
Keon Bobrow, the one who caught the kick and brought it out to the 32, and that's where we'll see this Emery Weiner offense get back to work. Eustine with Gerst to his left, and they'll give it to Gerst. Cutting upfield across the 35, close to midfield. Final minute of quarter number 3 here in the TAP 6-man Division I state championship game. Lakehill Prep and Emery Weiner locked in a good one. We've had 3 good football games today, gentlemen. This has been a fun morning, afternoon, and evening worth of football.
Absolutely.
Let's get 2 more of these days.
For sure. Well, and then there's very much possibility to have those with the teams coming in tomorrow and Saturday.
24 seconds and moving as they pitch it out to Gerst once again, and he's got a lot of running room and blockers. Can he break through to the third leg? Almost got loose. Jonah Shaw trailing behind the play from his defensive end position. Nice hustle to take him down, but now he's slow to get up and wisely goes down. I think he was instructed to go down because it would have taken him a good moment to get off the field there, as gimpy as he was.
I don't know if he's cramping or what.
It looks like they're trying to stretch him out for sure. So probably just a cramp here for Jonah Shaw, and good thing for Lakehill Prep with how good he's been for them on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, he's been huge for the Warriors. Definitely very athletic, very fast. May not make a play on every play, but he's definitely made an impact for him for sure.
15 seconds left here in the third quarter. 24-20, Emery Weiner on top and driving now into Lakehill Prep territory. Ball at the 22. As they continue to stretch out both legs for Jonah Shaw. Again, the Defensive Player of the Year in Division I, District 1 for this Lakehill Prep defense. And he'll get up and slowly walk his way off, but already just after a few steps, he was gimpy for a moment already, starting to look like he's a little more limber now, and you got to imagine you'll see number 3 come back on the field in relatively short order here for this Warriors defense.
Yep, definitely think they're going to give him a good dose of pickle juice, mustard, something, get some quick relief back into him.
Keegan Clendon coming onto the field in his stead. 3 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter. Will they snap the football? No, they will not. That is the end of 3 quarters here in the TAP 6-man Division I state championship game. Emery Weiner with a 24-20 lead, but Lakehill with the win in the final frame. We'll be back on TAPS TV. back at Panther Stadium here in Waco, Texas for quarter number 4. The Emery Weiner Jaguars with a 24-20 lead over the Lakehill Prep Warriors. Emery with the football, 1st and 15 at the 22-yard line. Trying to extend this 4-point lead.
I think if I'm Coach Reimer's probably going to run the ball a little bit here, try to use some time off that clock. Obviously with Lakehill, and you know, it hasn't been a high-scoring affair, but they can score quickly if they need to. So I'm going to try to, if I was him, I'd try to use up a little bit of clock.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts to start this 4th quarter. Pitch on the left-hand side for Gerst, and maybe gets just beyond the line of scrimmage.
Ryan Henry with the initial contact there for the Lakehill defense.
He has been everywhere tonight.
Absolutely.
For this Warriors football team.
Yeah, he's been man on a mission in there. Offense, defense. Hadn't been on a whole lot of special teams, I think, but he is. When he's in there, he's definitely made an impact.
Second down and a little less than 15. Justine with Gerst to his left. Fakes it his way, comes back on the near side, firing incomplete just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Josh Blum, the young man who had the touchdown reception just a little bit ago to extend their lead to 10.
And who else putting the pressure on the quarterback to rush the throw but number 5, Ryan Henry.
I think that was a smart move by coaches at Lakehill to get him in that rush position because he's got the speed. Obviously with the young quarterback for the Jaguars, you know, to be able to get some pressure on him, make him make a bad throw. Good play call there.
An official timeout now for a cramping Emery Weiner player. It's either Greenberg or Blum, hard to tell from this vantage point.
It'll be 3rd down and a hair under 15 yards to go. They have to get to the 12-yard line for a 1st down. It'll be Justine in shotgun, Gerst in the sidecar to his right, and 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the formation. And a flag.
What in the world?
I'm not sure.
I think that was some sort of sideline infraction against Emery Weiner.
He definitely turned and looked at the near sideline. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against the Emery Weiner sideline, I guess.
He was standing right by the coaching staff.
Threw his flag straight up in the air and turned around and looked at him before he went over and talked to the crew chief, Larry Morgan. There's no letters on that particular official's back, so I'm not sure which official that is. But a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty against Emery Weiner turns 3rd down and 15 into 3rd and 30.
Yeah, that's definitely not something you want to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Emery Weiner can still get the 1st down, but it's going to make it a lot tougher.
Not a whole lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 30 for Jason Reimers. Fires on the near side over the outstretched fingertips of Cullen Baker. And if there weren't a lot of plays for 3rd and 30, there are fewer for 4th and 30. I feel like the answer is no, given that they are on the other side of midfield. But would you consider punting the football in this situation at all?
You know what? With 9 minutes left to go, that's a tough call.
It doesn't look like they're considering it.
Yeah, I mean, because even if you get half the yards you need, you're still pinning them at the 20. Looks like they're going to take a timeout. Think about it a little bit more. The only problem is, I mean, if you know your defense can hold them, I think I definitely would consider it. But with the way Lakehill has been moving the ball, especially with Henry on the field,
yeah,
that's a tough gamble to take.
9:07 on the clock here in the fourth quarter, and the first timeout for either team in the second half. Emery Weiner now with 2 remaining. Of course, the Warriors still with all 3.
Well, I think the frustrating thing is it could have been a 3rd and 15 or 4th and 15.
Right.
But whatever happened there on the sideline just, does not bode well.
I didn't see anything demonstrative from anybody on this near Emery Weiner sideline, which makes me think that somebody must have said a magic word or something, because
it
was a rather definitive flag toss from the near side official.
Yeah, usually certain amount of words or certain amount of letters go into those words, and sometimes, we're all not perfect. So we'll see what the Jaguars do here.
Pure speculation by our part, of course.
That's right.
Absolutely, yeah.
4th and 30 for Emery Weiner. Eustine fires over the middle, and Leo Gers has got nowhere to go. Logan Stout makes the play just beyond the line of scrimmage. The 4th down stop by Lakehill Prep, and they'll take it back.
That was a huge stop there for Lakehill. If they can turn this drive in offense that they're about to start into some points, whoa, that'd be a real game changer.
So 1st and 15 as Lakehill Prep brings their offense back on the football field from their own 34-yard line. 46 yards away from a lead-taking score in the fourth quarter. 12-0 on the year and hunting a state championship. Last year they lost to this Emery Weiner football team in the first round of the playoffs 69-20. Right now they're down 24-20 and trying to take the lead back. That ball out of bounds in the direction of Mitchell Crow.
Usually when Crow's out at the wideout position, they're going to try to get him the ball. He's obviously one of the best athletes on their team, so he's going to take this next play off, I believe. Could be wrong. He might still be out there, but the one thing too, especially if you have 2 really good players like Crow and Henry, you can give the other one a break every once in a while.
Tight formation here on 2nd down and 15. Handoff up the middle and a lot of running room for Henry. Dragged down by the final potential tackler. A nice play deep in the defensive backfield by Ben Dauber. Otherwise, Henry was off to the races.
Yeah, that was a touchdown-saving tackle for sure.
Henry, obviously a really strong runner, has a bit of a habit of letting that ball get a little loose and carrying it around there. It makes you a little nervous watching. But he's delivered so far.
8.5 minutes to play, fourth quarter. 1st and 15. Henry with the handoff and swallowed up in the backfield. Nice play by Connor Koenig. Strung him out, grabbed the whole of him, and rode him down for a loss of 2.
Yeah, with a runner like Henry, you've got to get him stopped at the line of scrimmage. You cannot allow him to get the steam going, get the feet going, because if you allow him to get some momentum, he's hard to bring down.
Final 8 minutes of play in the TAPS Division I 6-man state championship game. 2nd and 18. And again, well defended by Emery Weiner. Kaiser Hall had no room, struggled back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll be 3rd and 18.
Looks like they're going to spread it out a little bit here for the Warriors. Mitchell Crow back deep. Remember, he's good at running or throwing.
Lewis gets the pitch as the spread back. Pressure in his face, throws over the middle and in the dirt at the feet of Ryan Henry, and it'll be 4th and 18.
This would be a huge stop for Emery Weiner if they can get it.
As much as these offenses have had their moments, this has been a defensive game from the jump. Big defensive stop by Lakehill Prep on the previous possession, and now here Emery Weiner with an opportunity to respond in kind, dealing with a 4th and 18 with 7:10 on the clock in the 4th. They'll go spread once again. Crow as the spread back, bounce the snap to him, but they get it back to him. He fires deep down the right-hand side of the field into a lot of coverage and over the head of Ryan Henry. Incomplete, turnover on downs.
I think this next drive for Emery Weiner is going to be huge. They're going to have to either eat up a lot of clock and pin Lakehill back deep in their own territory, put up some points. If they can put up some points here, at least get another touchdown, that might put it out of Lakehill's grasp.
And again, the difference in this football game right now, PATs. First and 15 at the 33. Gerst with the handoff. Breaks a tackle to the outside, and he's into the second level. Gerst pushed out of bounds at the 20.
Another great run by Gerst. He just moves his legs like he's got a dial that somebody wound up, and it just gets going. I mean, he pumps those things nonstop.
And he's not the biggest guy either. That's the really interesting thing. He's, I wouldn't say he's probably more than 160 pounds, it looks like. And that might be soaking wet. But he's been running hard.
With a bowling ball in his pocket. First and 15 at the 23 is where they marked him out of bounds. Gerst with the handoff up the middle, a gain of 1.
He's definitely somebody I would call a scat back for sure. Really somebody that can get out in the open. I think the best he's really done well at is, then get him out to those pitches to the right or to the left and, catch the edge. Not going to get a whole lot of yards. He can, but probably not going to get a whole lot of yards up the middle. So
2nd and 14, under 6.5 to play now. Emery Weiner in no hurry. Play clock down to 10 as they still set the formation. Keon Bobrow motioning across to the left-hand side. Bobrow and Cohen Baker, the 2 wide receivers on the outside, but it's going to be Gerst with the pitch once again. Gerst cuts up field, undercut at the 20 set, the 17. Falls forward to the 15. Then it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Mitchell Crow hitting him low to bring him down.
A little over 5.5 left in this game. It's going to be interesting to see if Emery Weiner can put this in. I think that might be able to put them over the top.
3rd down and 7 from the 15. Eustine in shotgun, letting that play clock bleed down as far as he can. Down to 1 as he finally snaps it. Really got all the way down to 0 as he pitches it out to Gerst. Gerst running the ladder to the left-hand side. Steps through a tackle. First down inside the 10, down to the 5.
And I think Emery Weiner got away with one. As you said, there were double zeros on that clock, and that flag could have come out. A break there for the Jaguars.
I always feel like this is a point that needs reminding in the way that the technicalities of a delay of game penalty works. It is not automatically a delay of game when the play clock hits 00. The machinations that have to take place for a delay of game penalty to actually be flagged, the umpire has to look up, see 00s on the clock, look down, see that the ball has not been snapped, and throw the flag. It's not a buzzer system. The moment it hits 00s, it's not technically a delay of game until the umpire has thrown that flag. That one was very close. Very clearly the umpire didn't see it, didn't throw the flag, and as a result, the first down run there for Leo Gerst inside to the 5-yard line. Nowhere to go there on 1st and goal. Now 2nd and goal once again from the 5. But it's a frankly commonly misunderstood, I think, penalty in the game of football. I think a lot of people see when they're watching TV at home, they're watching the NFL, and they see 00s flash on their television screen that, oh, the play clock ran out. There should be a 5-yard penalty. It's not quite that simple. It's not, again, it's not a buzzer system.
Human element in there for sure.
Exactly, 100%. Second and goal now from the 5-yard line. Again, they are allowing this play clock to wind down as low as they can. 12 on it right now. 3:50 and moving. Fourth quarter, Emery Weiner with a 4-point lead and looking to add to it on second and goal from the 5. They snap it with 3 on the play clock. Pitch it out to Gerst. Cuts up field, dragging tacklers, end zone, touchdown, Leo Gerst. Gerst with his third touchdown run of the day. It's a 10-point Jaguars lead, a 2-possession football game, and with 3:37 on the clock, Lakehill Prep now in a bit of trouble.
And there's still some time left in this game, but you have to imagine that Gerst is going to very strongly be considered the MVP here, especially if Emery Weiner can hold on.
High snap, they get it down, but the kick is blocked, and it will stay a 10-point game. First time today that Emery Weiner has not converted on their 2-point PAT. Whistles after the play. There is a flag down, though, offside against Lakehill Prep. So Emery Weiner's going to get another shot at this here. And these are 2 important points. I mean, again, that was the difference in the football game until that touchdown there from Leo Gerst. 2 missed 2-point PATs from Lakehill Prep was the reason they were down by 4. So Emery Weiner with another opportunity here for Vincent Banks to add 2 points. This time they're going to go for it. They throw it into the end zone. They'll get 1 for this. Cullen Baker on the receiving end. And Emery Weiner with an 11-point lead, 31-20, with 3:37 on the clock here in the fourth quarter.
Well, the Warriors do still have 3 timeouts, but they're going to have to move fast. You have to imagine they'll try and get Mitchell Crow involved.
Leo Gerst with 3 touchdown runs on the day, including a 40-yarder early on here in the second half to give Emery Weiner what appears to be the lead for good. We'll see if Lakehill Prep can make me eat those words over this last 3:37. But Gerst put him in front 16-14 with that touchdown and the ensuing 2-point PAT. And then his third touchdown of the game just moments ago from 5 yards out. 31-20 the tally right now with 3:37 on the clock.
Jaguar fans certainly feeling it. Student section with a lot of energy.
Vincent Banks getting set to kick off.
Worth noting, in the 6-man game, a field goal is worth 4. So theoretically, if the Warriors could score a touchdown and convert on their 2-point PAT, make it 31-28, a 4-point field goal would win the football game. But there's a long way to go between here and there. Short kickoff bouncing around, and finally they jump on top of it. Mitchell Crow with the presence of mind to just sit down with the football.
It was trouble for a second. Crow with a heads-up play.
So here comes the Lakehill offense, down 11 now. They faced a 2-score deficit already once today. They were down 24-14 late in the third quarter. They responded by scoring 29 seconds later on a Ryan Henry touchdown run. They would love a score just as quick as that right now.
Henry's definitely got that big play ability.
1st and 15 and a flag, and it's going to go against Henry for a false start. Not the way that Lakehill Prep wanted to start the drive, and the Emery Weiner sideline pumping up their fans on the near sideline. We talked about it off the top. They brought 3 buses here tonight for this football game. They needed one small bus for their team. They needed 3 big buses for their fans.
That's right. Traveling over from Houston, Emery Weiner with a state championship back in 2015.
Trying to find another tonight, leading by 11. Lewis fires it back on the near side, complete to Clendon, and no, he dropped it. Keegan Clendon had some open field, was thinking about that instead of thinking about squeezing the football. .330 on the clock here, 2:20 to play. Beg your pardon, 3:30. 3:30 to play, 2nd and 20 forthcoming. And a spread formation here for Lewis. Fires it on the right-hand side, complete, and an awful lot of running room here for Ryan Henry across the 30. Gets back a little more than half of the 20 yards they had to gain. It'll be 3rd down and 8. At a spread once again. Lewis rolls to the right, pressure behind him. He fires it complete, but a big hit, and not able to find the first down marker is Billy Leak. And he stays down after the play.
Koenig limping off as well for Emery Weiner. He was signaling to the sidelines.
And as they take an injury timeout here at Panther Stadium, we'll do so with them. We'll be back here on TAPS TV for the final 2:57.
Aiden loves playing baseball. He's in his element when he picks up a baseball bat.
When Aiden tore his ACL last year, we were all devastated. We didn't think that a 13-year-old could have a problem such as that.
Children's Health Andrews Institute for Orthopedic and Sports Medicine not only repaired Aiden's ACL, but they gave him the knowledge and skills to prevent any future injuries.
Now, less than a year later, he's back to hitting homers and doing phenomenal.
Back at Panther Stadium for 4th down and 3, and before they can snap the football, a timeout called by Emery Weiner. Jason Reimers wants to talk over what may be the biggest defensive play of the game for his football team. If they can get a stop here, I mean, Lakehill Prep still has all 3 timeouts, but that would darn near salt the football game away. Mike Leslie and Gabe Duarte here with you in the broadcast booth. Matt Tarbutton, the 3rd member of our team, has made his way down to be a part of the post-game trophy presentation. Emery Weiner certainly hoping that they're on the receiving end of that trophy here in 2 minutes and 54 seconds. They're closing in on another state championship, but still certainly some work left to do, most notably this 4th and 3 from the 35-yard line for the Lakehill Prep offense.
We've seen a lot of great defense in this game, a lot of team tackling by Emery Weiner, and they'll be looking to dial up one more play, see if they can't put this one in the books right now.
4th and 3 at a spread formation for Lakehill Prep. Lewis rolling on the near side, fires, incomplete, nowhere near his intended target of Mitchell Crow. I don't know if there was some miscommunication there or what, but Crow looked up and kind of had his palms to the sky, wondering what happened there. Either way, it falls harmlessly incomplete, and with 2:50 on the clock, now Lakehill Prep needs a lot of things to go their way. They do still have 3 timeouts, so they can get the football back, but they need a stop in extremely short order. 1st and 15 in Lakehill territory for Emery Weiner at the 35-yard line. Eustein will hand off for Leo Gerst. Gerst trying to get to the outside, buries his shoulder into the knees of Jonah Shaw, and an immediate timeout called by Lakehill Prep. They will use all 3 almost assuredly here just to get the football back. If they can do that, again, in the 6-man game, scoring twice in, let's just say conservatively, about 2 minutes. There's 2:39 on the clock right now. You make 2 more stops here, call timeout after each one, and get a 4th down stop and get the football back. Probably a little over 2 minutes on the clock. Scoring twice in that time frame, Gabe, is certainly not impossible, certainly really not even out of the realm of expectable in the six-man game.
Sure.
But the way that these two defenses have been playing, that's not the kind of game this has been.
And that's the factor. About 40 to 50 seconds ago, Lakehill had that opportunity, and it just didn't go their way. So it's certainly, we've seen crazier things happen, that's for sure, but they've got to dial it up pronto.
Second down and 11 with 2:39 to play. Gerst with the handoff once again, being chased from behind, cut down by Kaiser Hall. 2:33 and another timeout. So one timeout remaining for Lakehill Prep. 2:33 on the clock, and it will be 3rd down and 6. Emery Weiner has to get to the 20-yard line. Beg your pardon, the ball at the 26.
Very likely another Gerst run coming just to make them use that last time out.
Certainly a good bet. Be a surprise if they do anything else with how much he's carried the football here tonight. Why not ride him one more time on what could be a carry that wins you a state championship? You got a first down here. This football game's just about over. 3rd down and 6 and an opportunity for Emery Weiner to salt it away. Can Lakehill Prep make the defensive stop they need to? Eusteen in shotgun. Moves Gerst to his left. Gerst takes the pitch, working to the left-hand side, cuts upfield, breaks one tackle, comes up short. And once again, Lakehill Prep will call timeout. 2:25 on the clock, 4th quarter. And now they absolutely have to have a stop here on 4th down and 3. Final timeout called by the Warriors.
A little over 3 yards to go to seal this deal.
It is so close that Emery Weiner can taste it. But they still have to pick up this first down to really feel any semblance of comfort. If they give the football back here to Lakehill Prep, there's still a lot of work to be done.
And you got to imagine they're going to ride the horse that got them here one more time here in the state championship game. Number 4, Leo Gerst.
Emery Weiner, a state champion in 2015, trying to add a second to their register with a first down here on 4th and 3. Ball at the 23, have to get to the 20. Eusteen in shotgun, Gerst to his right. And now whistles and a timeout. One last chance to talk things over for Jason Reimers and company. In a lot of ways, for Emery Weiner, at this point, your playbook is wide open. There's no reason why you have to run the football here, because if you don't convert the first down, the clock is going to stop anyway.
Right.
So you can certainly throw the football here if you wish, because if you convert the first down, it means you completed the pass. So everything is at their fingertips here. Both teams out of timeouts. 2:25 to play, 4th quarter, and Lakehill Prep still trying to claw their way to a miracle here. So one more time, an effort at 4th and 3. 2 wides to the near side, Gerst in the backfield with Eusteen. Pitch comes to Leo Gerst, strung out, gets to the outside, he got the corner, first down. Leo Gerst with the nail in the coffin. Emery Weiner with the first down, and the Jaguars are 2 minutes and 18 seconds away from a state championship.
What a great game by Emery Weiner. They're going to hand Lakehill their first loss of the season. walk out of here with a 12-1 record and a state championship trophy.
He did step out of bounds, so the clock stopped at 2:18, so they weren't able to run the clock between the first down pickup and this first down play. But they'll kneel it down, and with a 40-second play clock, they won't have to snap it again until the clock reads 1:32.
No fans are allowed out onto the field during that presentation or afterwards. We'll have our awards presentation.
Working the math out in my head, that means they wouldn't have to snap it for third down until about 50 seconds left, maybe a hair under 50 seconds left. Which I think means they will have to snap it for fourth down, unless they're able to eat up some time in the middle of plays here, and they're going to try and do exactly that. He still hasn't kneeled down. Finally, he did. That was a smart play by Doran Eustein. That may be all that they needed. The officials blew the whistle, though, and blew the play dead long before he ever took a knee. I think they assumed that he was going to take a knee, and he hadn't yet.
Forward progress.
23 on the play clock. Yeah, they'll have to snap it at about 50 here. With a 40-second play clock, they're going to need to eat up about 10 seconds here in order to not have to snap it on fourth down. Now, again, in an 11-point game, you're not going to score twice in 11 seconds, but play clock still has not started yet. They may just be there. They finally just did start it. It's going to be a 3-second difference, game clock to play clock. So they will have to snap it here on fourth down. But there will be 4 seconds remaining. Certainly possible for Eustein to just run backward for 4 seconds and take a knee and put a state championship in the books for Emery Weiner. Eustein will be in shotgun alongside Leo Gerst. And it looks like they're just going to let the play clock expire. Clock runs down to 2. And the celebration has already begun on the near sideline for this Emery Weiner football team. It'll be 4th and 21, but that matters little. 3 buses worth of fans celebrating a state championship for the Jaguars on the near side stands and sideline.
I've got a feeling they're going to be pretty noisy buses headed back to Houston tonight.
God bless them going all the way back to Houston tonight. It's already 9:45. But after a night like this, getting home at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning is nothing.
Absolutely.
Eustein will take the snap with 2 seconds left, a couple of steps backward and falls down. State championship Emery Weiner, their second all-time, a 31-20 win over Lakehill Prep. And the Emery Weiner Jaguars are the best 6-man Division I football team in the state of Texas.
Great game, very competitive for the majority of this ball game. Excellent defense on both sides. Another really entertaining game on what's been a fantastic day of 6-man football.
Leo Gerst, the story of this football game for Emery Weiner. A young man who's just a sophomore, thrust into certainly a bigger role in this football game than he's been used to this year by the injury to Austin Smith. The best player on this Emery Weiner football team did not take a snap today, and they won a state championship despite that, largely on the shoulders of Leo Gerst, the sophomore running back. 3 touchdowns on the day, including a 40-yard touchdown run early on in the second quarter to give them the lead for good, and a 5-yard touchdown run in the fourth to salt this one away. What a day for Leo Gerst. What a day for the Emery Weiner Jaguars, and a state championship on its way back down to Houston.
I think it's pretty safe to say we might see Emery Weiner back here again next year.
I mean, it's hard to argue with. Looking at the talent that they have, Doran Eustein, their quarterback's a sophomore. Leo Gerst is a sophomore. Connor Duffy, who made some plays today, is a sophomore. Cullen Baker, one of their starting wide receivers, is a junior. Same can be said for Keon Bobrow, the other starting wide receiver. Elliott Ellis, a key player on this team who didn't maybe factor tremendously in this particular game, but was important for them over the course of this season as a whole, is only a sophomore. There's a lot of talent on this Jaguars football team, and that's just looking at the offensive side of the ball. Lots of talent that will be coming back for next year, trying to repeat as six-man Division I state champions.
They might need 4 buses.
We mentioned Matt Tarbutton's down on the field for the post-game trophy presentation. That is just moments away here on TAPS TV as Emery Weiner awaits their championship trophy. They will award Lakehill Prep's runner-up trophy and ribbons first, and we'll pass it off to the public address system here in-house for the trophy presentation of the six-man Division I state championship.
We would like to recognize the Lakehill Prep Warriors for an outstanding season, finishing as the top state runner-up in Division I six-man football with an overall record of 13-1. The Warriors were led by head coach Jarius Mitchell and assistant coaches Jimmy Lavery, Percy Jones, and Michael Jones. At this time, I will now present to Coach Mitchell the state runner-up plaque and banner for the 2019 TAP six-man Division I runners-up, the Lakehill Prep Warriors. Congratulations, gentlemen, on an outstanding season. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to direct your attention to the home side stands as we congratulate the Emery Weiner Jaguars, who finished with an overall record of 13-1 and as six-man Division I state champions. The Jaguars were led by head coach Jason Reimers with assistant coaches Javon Martell, Otis McNamee, Kevin Ellis. And this time, I'd like to have Coach Reimers come forward and accept the state championship plaque and banner for your 2019 TAPS Division I six-man champions, the Emery Jaguars.
What a moment for Jason Reimer, second-year head coach, winning his first state championship, the second title in the school history for Emery Weiner. This one on the back of Leo Gerst, Gabe, a fantastic performance from the sophomore running back. 3 touchdowns on the night, and the Jaguars winning a state title.
Big players show up in big games, and Gerst, as a sophomore, had a huge game, and hats off to that young man and that team. And as we've noted, they'll be a force to be reckoned with going into next season.
I think same can be said, frankly, for Lakehill Prep. They've got a lot back. Ryan Henry, only a junior this year. Mitchell Crow, only a sophomore. Nathan Lewis, their quarterback, only a junior. They've got a lot of talent back as well. Keegan Clendon, one of their starters on the offensive line, just a junior. Henry Hopkins, who made some big plays today, only a sophomore. They have some talent back as well, to be sure. Jaden Lambert, only a sophomore. There's a lot of young kids on both of these football teams. Frankly, it won't surprise me in the slightest if it's these same two teams playing for a state title again. next season. They met last year in the playoffs in the first round. Emery Weiner won that one handily, 69-20. Tonight, they met for a state title, and the Emery Weiner Jaguars, with a 31-20 win to claim the final six-man state championship, will hand out this weekend at Panther Stadium as they take the Division I title with a 31-20 win. And with that, this one is in the books. Our thanks to the entire TAPS TV team. Our producer here in the booth with us, Will Dixon. The director of media for TAPS TV, John Skees. The associate athletic director for TAPS is Steve Pregame, and the executive director of TAPS is Brian Bunselmeyer. Also a shout-out once again to the Midway ISD AV program, Caleb Overstreet and Tanya Lacey running the ship and bringing you all of the pictures over the course of this morning, afternoon, and evening. They've been working hard for us all day long, bringing you the action here from Panther Stadium. For Matt Tarbutton and Gabe Duarte here with me in the booth, I'm Mike Leslie. We'll hope you'll join us tomorrow as we kick off the 11-man state championships. Division I kicks off at noon as Parish Episcopal takes on the John Paul II Cardinals. Division II at 7 o'clock, Trinity Christian Cedar Hill against Austin Regions. Thanks so much for watching today. Your final score one last time, 31-20. Emery Weiner, your six-man Division I state champions. And we will see you tomorrow here at Panther Stadium.